I remember in the 80s when you were a pyro roller, when you were the absolute market and you were king of silver dollars.
Yeah.
Everybody would go to the shows and find out what Highfill was paying and the bids and the asks. And that's just, any stories you want to tell, anything you want to share?
Well, I guess it was called the Roaring 80s. That'd be it. I guess my accomplishable years, like everybody else's when you're younger, although I was 40. But I remember when me and Marlene got married and we had Chelsea, that didn't stop us. We had 50 shows a year. We had 52 shows a year. We didn't miss a week. One year we had 39 days in Tulsa. We lived there. We were just on the road. We would go to Jack Tar show in San Francisco, drive down to Highway 1 and go to Long Beach, and then go down to San Jose, and then, go over to Las Vegas. We just kept going show to show. I mean, it was like finding money trees back then. First of all, you got to do what I did. You got to. I'm making it sound like it's too easy. Not everybody could do what I did. If they did, I would add competition. Mm-hmm. People couldn't do it. I don't know why I could do it. I just could do it. It became instinctive to me to do that. But we'd patch up the Craco and ship through the airlines and put Chelsea in a crate behind our table and just keep on going. Never stop. But I mentioned before the thousands of bags that I pulled out of the shows. It was just we always had 3 tables. Sometimes we had 4 tables. One time I tried 6. I couldn't handle it though. So we had 4 tables across, and I'd have them lined up there. David Hull, Hans Tubing, Dean Tavener, Leroy Linhart, everybody's there, and they're picking through the rows. And I remember I'm buying coins at $40 a coin, $800 a row. I'm selling the rows there at $850. Well, this is the secret. I'm glad these guys are gone. But the companies I mentioned earlier, I was selling them at $900. Well, I had to ship them too, and I had to wait for the money, so it was a little bit more. But I was selling them at $850. I'm making $50 a row. I'm doing thousands of rows per show. And when you let them pick a $50 a coin, and each guy takes a couple of hundred coins, you make $15,000 to $20,000 in a day. Every day, every show, everywhere. I made a statement to 3 guys: Dean Tavener, John Love, and Wayne Miller. I'm not trying to mock them. It's just I saw something that they didn't see, and they laughed at me. And probably, if they thought better, they wouldn't have laughed at me. Probably would have thought the same thing. But I said, in 10 years, we'll have a hard time getting a bag of dollars out of the show. And they just laughed at me. Well, I got a gift. It's given to me by David Hall. It's called PCGS. At that time, everybody's taking dollar rows, cherry picking them, you understand, and set them in the PCGS for grading. So tons of dollars came out of the marketplace and went to PCGS holders, the 63s and 64s, and especially 65s and above. So therefore, the population went away. If you were to crack out the coins out there, you might be able to get some bags of dollars back out, but it's gone. But meanwhile, for every dollar that you send out there to a company that sells to a person, it's out of the market for 10, 20 years. Mm-hmm. But I don't expect in 10 or 20 years for all that to be coming back in and happening again. It won't happen again. If I have a coin, I'll give you an example of a coin. This is a big coin. I had a 92S in '66 PCGS. I paid $235,000 for it, and the market had crashed in '89. And Tim LaPointe is a coin dealer. He walks up to me and says, "John," says, the market had crashed about 3 weeks already. He says, "John, do you have that 92S in '67? 66 or 67? I can't remember now." Anyway, I said, "Yes." He says, "I'll pay you $195,000 for it. I got a customer's going to be $200,000. I make $5,000. I'll let him tell you the truth." Tim, I can't do that. I said, "The ink on the check's not wet." That's an example you say when you just bought it. And he said, "John, look at me." I said, "You're better than that. I've seen you before. You know when to get out." I said, "Yeah, I know, but that's a great coin. That coin will be good forever." He said, "Okay, well, I'll just tell him it's not available." I took about 4 or 5 steps and I thought to myself, he's right. Mm-hmm. Tim, write me a check. Says, "No, I can't write you a check. I don't have the money right now, but I guarantee you the money." I got the check about 2 weeks later. I bought the same coin, but I lost. That's $45,000 I lost in 3 weeks. $45,000. It's a lot of money. I've had smaller losses, and that's one of my bigger losses. And the fund show showed up like that 6 or 8 months later after that, and I bought that coin for $38,000. Same coin. So anyway, that stuff that's going to scare people out there trying to buy expensive coins. But you know what? Let the market beware, and you beware of the market both. You just got to know what you're doing. But let it be known no other way. Between 1986 to 1990, I had the world's finest collection. Well, after a while, after I assumed my Silver Dollar convention, PCGS came in 1990, and they got the world's finest collection. They built these big modules and everything together. It was magnificent. And they tried to get coins from everybody. And what they were going to take was 5 coins from everybody. I remember distinctly, whether David wants to argue with me, I'd tell him that I could pretty well put them all up and say, it's not going to be the John W. Highfill collection, it's going to be the world's finest collection. We're going to take a little bit of everything. And to make a long story short, he kind of called me toward the last. He says, what do you got in these? You know, not exactly that way, but, you know, kind of that way. Anyway, they put that together, and it was held at Long Beach. It's at the ANA, and one of my national, you know, I don't know if we did this earlier, but I put on a National Silver Dollar Convention for 20 straight years, and National Gold Convention for 14 years. But anyway, he put on a Silver Dollar Convention. They was going to go overseas, but after a while, everybody wanted their coins back, so it evolved after that. But it was a great thing. But anyway, in this collection, though, I had pretty well everything at the time, because I had money. Everybody knew to come to me if they had a coin. If they had a 87p, a common date in 67, they would come to me. If I didn't have it, I'd just upgrade, and I'd take my 66 and sell it off to somebody else, just, you know, cherry picking, updating. And it was really a wonderful time. I did the same thing with peach dollars also. I also had a Canadian coin collection also. I had a Washington quarters collection. I had a lot of them at the time. Now, PCGS and NGC both have these big sets, what do they call them? Registry sets, yeah. And they are. And they've come a long way from the John Highfill and the Jack Lee and the Lloyd Gabbeth and others. They've gone a long way because, you know what? Guess what? Some of my coins are richer than this set. I guarantee you, some of these registry sets. Because, you know, at one time, I owned all 3 93S's and 5. I owned virtually the highest coin there was. And when 81 S's and 68, there was 3 or 4 of them. I mentioned there's more of them now. I wouldn't buy them, but I did at the time. But anyway, I think it's 3 of those. I had everything.
How about some more stories about your coin business?
Back in the late 70s to early 80s, I'd grown to 28 employees, and I was doing the conventions. And when I had one person doing advertising, Coin World, numismatic news, and everything, that was back whenever there wasn't PCGS or NGC and stuff like that, and I was doing everything. I was doing gold, I was doing cougar hands and silver. As a matter of fact, I guess it was in 82, 3, and 4, I did about 3.5 million silver rounds through Sunshine Mint. I did my own rounds. Again, I researched it that you couldn't have anything that, I had replicas of Morgan and Peach dollars, but you couldn't have anything just like that. You had to have a different size and weight, so the weight was different, the purity was different, and the circumference was different, it's 39 millimeter. So therefore I made those, and they were a very big success. I sold you know, quite a few million of those. At the time when I had 28 employees, after a while, I realized that they were non-functional as far as making money is concerned. So I kept whittling down, and this one guy worked for me, and he ran a bank and a post office errands, took out the trash and this, that, and the other, and I was paying $38,000 a year. And he's a good guy, a really good guy. But when you take the workman's comp, the hospitalization, this, that, and the other, you guys paying $55,000 a year. So when he decided he's going to leave, I said to myself, I can make $55,000 a year if I don't hire somebody back. I'll just take out the trash and go to make a post office. So I started making $55,000 a year, which is a good job, you know. So I pay myself. So as every person dropped out, I started picking up more on my shoulders and ended up to be pretty independent, kind of doing pretty well all I needed to do by myself. Well, I had up to 5 or 6 people until about 5 or 6 years ago. And now I'm kind of, you know, getting into the golden years and trying to go out the back door as slowly as possible. But I'm still doing kind of much business I want to do, you know.
Tell me about your involvement in the Carson City coin market.
Now, as far as CC is concerned, I used to just own the CC market, GSAs. As a matter of fact, at this point in time, I keep it quiet, but you know, I keep a couple of hundred of 82s, 83s, and 84s of stocks still today, you know, because I need them at all times. And every once in a while, I run 85 CCs. But Cirque CCs sell like water. Everybody likes the CC. Carson City is just like the #1 thing that will always sell. You can put back coins or carry an inventory. There's certain coins, half dimes or dimes and stuff like this. And they sell every so often. These things sell daily. I like to stay with the stuff that's fast and moving stuff. Is, you know, you get caught in down markets. All the CCs, we get these plastic Nevada things and put CCs and make those up and sell them as sets. They do very well. So there's a magic in the CC. Anyway, not plugging my book, but in the new ebook, you'll find out all this information on CCs in every chapter.
You did sell a coin for over $1 million. Tell me the story of the $50 Humbert Gold piece.
Well, I had an investor or buyer that was selling or whatever it is, and he was looking for very high expensive coins, the highest you can get. So Mark Yeffy called me up, and at the time he says, we got this coin that's worth $1 million. I said, I've never heard of a coin worth $1 million. He says, yeah, it's an 1882 over 51 Augustus Humbert private owned proof of just one coin, okay? It's his personal coin. So he said, we want $1.4 million out of it. No, he said he wants I want to make 10%. I make 10% on everything. So $1 million, you make $100,000. That don't happen very often, by the way. So anyway, whatever it was, but it turned out the price of $1.4 million. So I shipped it to him, and he sent me $1.1 million, and he owed me the $300,000, and I never got that. So it ended up selling for $1.1 million, really, real money that came in, and we had to pay Silvertown like $700,000 to take care of it. But that's the first $1 million coin that was ever sold. And it's just sold here recently within the last year, 2015, 2016, for over $1 million again. Because it got down and people, nah, that ain't right, that's too high. Well, guess what? Every coin's too high later, until it's all over said and done. But anyway, it sold for like $1.2 million or $1.3 million here again. But they've had many $1 million coins since then. But there is extreme competition in coins, so extreme competition, I remember back in the 80s, everybody was walking at the shows, couldn't wait to get in the doors. It's lasted for maybe not 20 years, but at least 17, 18 years. Can I have first shot when you get in, saying I want first shot for every coin was selling. Right. Commemorates are going. I had the biggest commemorative set. I had all the commemorates and BUs on it. I had pretty well everything at the time. I was really, really big at the time on different collectings. I was always a collector, been that way all my life.
What was your biggest silver dollar deal?
Oh, biggest silver dollar deal? I'm not sure how to say that. I mean, back when I was doing, like I mentioned earlier, at the show, some of my biggest dollar deals were just out of the show. Shipped 20, 30 bags out of the show. Those were big deals at the time. The $1 million coin was not a silver dollar. Silver dollar collection, we did that earlier too.
What's the biggest check you've ever taken that bounced?
Oh yeah, it's this guy. I'm not gonna mention his name, so it doesn't matter. I sold him $6 million worth of coins, and 4.5 made it. I got 3 $500,000 checks in my little showcase in there for remember, don't take checks. Yeah. So that's $1.5 million in the room. I'll sell it to you for because they're probably worth $1,000. You wouldn't buy them. You couldn't do it. You have to throw them away.
And how did that make you feel?
Pretty bad. I had enough money to cover it, but you don't lose $1.5 million. I don't care who you are, and be happy about it. It hurt quite a bit. It was a bad time too, because some other things were falling. The market was crashing at the same time. It's kind of like a sinkhole in Florida, just everything was going at once. You know what I mean? Or a tornado in Oklahoma. All of a sudden you got this and everything's happening. Next day you come home, you can't even get an insurance check out of State Farm or Allstate or all the companies, Better be careful I do that, I can get liable on that one. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's very, very bad. I've had, I have one things I've done before, I hate to say it here, but it's probably a good policy. I think it's a good policy. Again, going back to the economic side of the factor, I'll have guys that have run into problems that owe me like 20 grand. And I just tell them, give me $21,000 checks. I'm putting them in 1 month for 20 months and trying to help them out. Well, I have a motive for that. I'm trying to get the first $1,000 if nothing else. So I do have a motive. And invariably, I guess I did that maybe 15 times through the years, and 5 didn't make it at all. 10 make it about 2/3 of the way through, and about 5 made it all the way through. But it helped them. But if you say you got to have your $20,000 now, you're not going to get anything. Yeah. So if you get $21,000 checks, but a lot of times if someone owed me 20 grand, I like to give them $4,000 or $5,000 checks or something like that. But it seems to work. And the guys that it worked with, it helped them out, and they're still in business. And the other guys got out of the business. So that's called first loss theory, by the way. Same, not the first loss theory. First loss theory is the one I told you earlier. take a loss on a coin. Forget that big story I told you about. There's a lot of times a market shift. When I'm when I'm making the markets back in the day, I'd be paying $40 for dollars, and then all of a sudden someone else is paying $40. I'd pay 41. And then vice versa. When things worked, it worked, and when it didn't work, it didn't work. And then I'd take the markets go up and down like sliding scale. But a lot of times when coins just crashed, I would take coins I paid $100 for and I sell them for $80. And that's like I have a couple of hundred of them. Well, I take that $80 and buy something else at the new market prices and sell it for $100. I got my money back within 30 days. So it's called first loss theory. Everybody should learn how to do that. Now, the best place to buy coins that you want are rare are at auctions. It's in today's market. It's hard to find the rare coins out there. They're not out there anymore. And it's kind of like going to a flea market on the opening day, and the second day of the flea market, everything's gone. It's the same thing about the coin business. After years go by, this just stuff's not out there anymore. And they're bringing double bids and triple bids. You don't want to get me into the gray sheet and stuff like that. They're doing the best job they can, but there's coins on there that bid $10,000 that I'd pay $20,000 for, but you can't find them. So what's the price, And why would you bid $20,000 when it's not out there to raise the bid to $20,000 and no coin? It's not available to sell. Somewhere in my encyclopedia it says one coin does not a market make. This is a different subject. One coin is not a market make. They have the gray sheet at times. I'm not picking on the gray sheet. It's just what it is, okay? At times, say an 83S and 64 is bid $5,000. That's just an exaggeration on price and the other. Okay, at the $5,000 mark, someone sells a coin for $4,500, and there's 100 of them in population out there. Well, 99 investors or collectors or dealers or somebody have them. And one guy sells a coin for $500 less in the gray sheet minus $500. Sorry, I'm not supposed to cuss. That's BS, though. I mean, you can't just take one coin and everybody else's coins go down because one guy decided to sell it for $500 less. So one coin does not a market make.